Hello and welcome to another Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Generation 1 Transformer Sideswipe. This is the commemorative edition release. Not really any difference between that and the original release. In terms of the alt mode, Sideswipe is clearly a Lamborghini Countach, and it happens to be one of my favourite cars, and I think this is probably one of the best models as well. I don't have Sunstreaker, unfortunately, but clearly the two are based off the body parts of the same, and then they also went on to make Red Alert as well into the same body part, and since then the Masterpiece have had several other redecos as well. That said, Sideswipe is perhaps the most true to life Lamborghini clone, in that it's the right colour. I know Sunstreaker was as well, but Sunstreaker also had stuff on the back, whereas a Countach in real life doesn't. So in terms of the alt mode, obviously you've got the rubber wheels again. It drives quite well, as you can see. This one strangely has a tendency to pull to the left, but never mind. And it looks pretty good all told. In terms of other accessories you get a gun, quite nice and shiny, and a missile launcher. The missile doesn't actually launch, it just holds it into place. That, I don't know if that's just to do with the commemorative release. I suspect not. I suspect that's more a modification that was made over the original Diaclone release. In terms of transformation, Sideswipe isn't too bad to transform. Both the transformation for him and of course for the Sideswipe clone Sunstreaker and Red Alert are the same. So you can see that down here you have the feet. Just fold out like that. Voila. Extend the legs down like that. Now, in common with most of these guys, the head, well, obviously the front of the car becomes the chest plate. However, what you need to do is first of all get the arms out of the way. So they just slide up a bit and then it extends out like that. Same thing here. It's easier to slide it up just so you've got something to purchase on. Now, again, that just flips out to make the chest piece like that. You do need to move the hood up because his head, as you can see, is in there. And what you just need to do is move that round, like so, and then push that back in. You see, it does have a little bit of movement, so you can push it back in like that. Gets it out of the way. Now, that's not how his arms are meant to be. You are able to do that, and the arms do extend out. Same deal here. So you can have that down, and the arms do extend up like that. Legs come apart ever so slightly. The wheels have gone, if the feet have gone back in like that. And there we are. Transformation is complete. Now, in terms of weapons, your best bet is probably to slide. It does have little holes for his hands, as you can see, which leads me to suspect that this isn't actually Sideswipe's weapon at all. I suspect this is Skid's weapon from before. Never mind. It's Lee done. Now this hooks, it just goes onto that there. There we are. This makes me wonder where Sideswipe's weapon is. Obviously I've managed to get it a bit mixed up with somebody else's gun. Oh well, that's easily done when you store your Transformers in the same space. I did, of course. Here is Sideswipe's gun, and it slots into his hold there. So it will do when we push it in. There we go. So those of you who've seen the review on Sideswipe, we need to on Sideswipe. This is the review on Sideswipe. The review of Skids. We need to add yet another gun to Skids' profile. Does it make Skids any better as a result? To be honest, I'd rather have that gun than the missile launcher, because the missile launcher was pretty rubbish. So apologies for those of you who've seen that. It would look quite good on Sideswipe, but there's no way for him to actually hold it. Never mind. The joys of having umpteen different weapons provided. So in terms of robot mode, it's pretty good. It's a shame the head doesn't rotate again, because that would be ideal with that. I know he's got no peripheral vision to that side with the great big weapon, the missile, but yeah, that's all right. His arms have fairly limited manoeuvrability, especially for a G1 Diaclone mould. Go up, they go down. I mean, at least he does have an elbow. Well, it's not really an elbow, but it looks like an elbow with the way the guns are placed, but there's no other rotation. So in that respect, he's actually quite limited in his mobility. It's also a bit of a shame there's no jetpack, which both the cartoon series and the comic book series had. I suspect that would imply that they're both gimmicks of that and not actually part of the toy, because there's no sign, there's not even any sign of where you would put one, which is a bit of a shame. And obviously from behind, you can quite obviously see it's more of a car than a robot, whereas on the front it's much more of a robot than a car. Otherwise, it is quite a good toy. Perhaps looks a little bit front heavy, but you can just alter the perception by moving the head a bit. Obviously, mould brother, Red Alert. Red Alert looks just as good. The only difference, I mean, actually Red Alert's legs need to come up. The only difference is the colouring scheme, which, you know, looks quite good on Red Alert. And just compare it with Combiner Wars Warpath to get an idea of scale. So there we are. Sideswipe is pretty good Kawaii. I really like the car mode. I think the Lamborghini is the best of them all, but hey, I like Lamborghinis, so I'm obviously going to be biased with that. The robot mode is alright. More articulation would be nice. Say, it's very, very limited, particularly for a G1 guy. I mean, we look at someone like Jazz here, and he has, I'm just going to take that off because that gets in the way, he has much greater range of arm movements. See, I don't know how well that, you can see that if our arm was in the way. But Jazz has a far greater reach of arm movements, and that's something that Sideswipe just doesn't have, and doesn't even begin to have, and it's a bit of a shame really, and of course that deficit then goes on to all the other Sideswipe clones. Shame the head doesn't move, but you can't really be too fussy about that because none of the original G1 characters have head movement, really and truly. Occasionally they do. Soundwave is perhaps, no, actually, yeah, Soundwave is the only one that I can obviously think of. I'm sure you'll tell me if there's others, but Soundwave is the only one that really comes to mind, and that's by way of the transformation of his head. But it's a shame that these guys don't have it. It wouldn't have been particularly hard to do. I suppose it's all about costs and the fact that this was a direct clone of an existing mould. They would have had to make a new mould, and again, you got costs. They didn't really know when doing this that Transformers would be a hit. I say it's a good toy. Apologies about the weapon. Easy mistake to make, but Sideswipe was good like that. I think the colour scheme particularly works well on him. I would like to see a G1 Sunstreaker as well with him. Obviously you can look at other YouTube videos for it. He goes well with Red Alert. It's a shame the commemorative edition for some reason never released Sunstreaker. It just seems bizarre, and of course original Sunstreakers just cost silly money. Masterpiece releases I'm sure fix these problems, but they ain't cheap. Then again, the original one, it still works well. So there we are, that is the Generation 1 Sideswipe, the commemorative edition release. Thank you very much for watching. Please do leave any comments below, and I will see you for the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.